Buongiorno tutti. Hello to the new episode, season 2 of the Be Part of It Tech Talk in this new theme, new episode. Before we begin, let's invite Luca Pedrazzini, SORINT Labs General Manager.
Hello. I'm happy to see you again, Mohab. How are you in this new series?
Thank you. New season, season 2, after I think a very successful season last season. Fun statistics for the people watching us last season. Thanks to our reporters, circles / departments in SORINT, we were able to have more than 30 guests in season 1. Let's hope for the best for season 2.
Yeah, let's go and talk technically because we love it. So what's the question for today that we are going to answer?
We are going to answer a lot of questions in this season. And the first questions, because a lot of the questions we get is related to AI. Digging deeper into AI, mainly a lot of questions focusing on how can AI improve our developers' outputs, developer skills? How can AI improve our productivity in software development lifecycle? So I'm sure you've read it in your numbers and the reports you've received that we do get a lot of those questions. As an IT consultancy company, we do a lot of consultation to firms, to big organizations, whether through direct work or through just inquiries or answers. So today we are going to answer this question as much as possible. Rich statistics, rich numbers. Every word I'm gonna say, I'm trying to answer a doubt that I'm sure it is in someone's mind somewhere in an organization. So,
first of all, if I can say that the nowadays business and IT are very well. We need a IT savvy or tech savvy business and also business savvy IT. So it's very blended. And this very question how we can improve the productivity of the developers using AI tools and so on. It can come from the business side, but also the technical side. So it's representing this new era of tech and business mixed together. So this is very
all numbers are clearly showing we're heading.
We can refer as this paradigm because we are seeing in our customer that they are becoming more and more CTO. I don't know if their role is CTO really, but they are CTO. So in some way mixing or leveraging technology to do more business. So this is the idea. Sorry, just for the first episode.
Let's jump into it. For the time, I want to make sure we cover as much as possible. So let's break. First thing we do as engineers, as rational thinkers, to answer this question, we have to break down AI. I have to give an introduction to AI. AI didn't change, and I assure you, AI 10 years ago didn't change from now. How did AI from 10 years ago, I'm just giving this 10 years as a threshold to find a period to talk about, from 10 years ago until today, I think it's very obvious to everyone watching us how AI evolved. But what has changed? Why did this happen? AI, algorithms, methodology, books, the foundation of logic and artificial intelligence did not change. Algorithms, the problem solving, decomposing the problem, the environments, whether it's observable, whether it's non-observable, whether it's partially observable, the nodes and the algorithms of BFS and the DFFS and BFS and DFS did not change. Node searching and tree searching. I'm sure people who studied educationally AI and logic know what I'm talking about. These things didn't change, guys. What changed is the amount of data we can process. The huge number of data, trillions of terabytes, billions of terabytes. We are now, due to a hardware evolution, we were able to process this data way more effectively compared to 10 years ago, sorry. So let's agree that the foundation of AI did not change. What has changed is our ability to process this data. Right. Data availability and accessibility has changed magnificently. I think we can all agree that 10 years ago, with the social media, with internet in every house and every phone and blah, 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 had made accessibility and availability of this sort of data we process. Things that are major in AI algorithms for example, for processing data. What is AI at the end? You are processing, we are putting rules, foundation to process this data and have an output in a more rational human wise. We are trying to make the computer think, tuning experiments and all of these things. I don't want to stop in this area a lot, but to give a general introduction, what has changed? This is what changed. Hardware evolution plus accessibility of data. I think fair enough. I think AI as a topic, as a theoretical topic, we covered it. Okay, let's see in the software area.
May I suggest, I don't know if I can suggest I read just right now a book for everyone interested in this is something I think that it's very interesting. It's a book written by Fei Li. We didn't receive it. We will not receive any. This is really a suggestion. The author is Fei Li. She's Fei Li, and the book is The Words I See. That is very interesting because it's a memorandum there of her life, but also mixed in the history and the evolution of AI. If you Google Fei Li, you can also understand who these very important people very important scientist is in the nowadays.
I don't know the book, but I know when you look advise a book, I'm really interested myself to see it. Yeah, I'm sure
you can read it like a novel, but it's also mixed with the history of AI.
Sorry, and it's more business or more technical? Is it more focused on business or more technical aspect of AI?
In some way, is the story. So because AI also, there are many implications about ethics and so on. So it's the story of the scientist, but also because she's a Chinese immigrant in the US, so it's very interesting. I will leave to the
more of a novelty way or a drama way.
Really
techy, more techy.
No, it's not really technical, but not it's a story compendium, the idea of AI, starting from we want to follow the rule-based behavior that is not the right way, then there is switch to the neuron and so on. That's all.
Okay, again, we jump to that main question. We broke down AI. Let's break down software. Before I break down software development as a practice we do as programmers or coding, I want to talk about something in software. Why are the world leaders advising, warning, pushing to regulate? And I'm going to repeat this word many times during this episode because that's my main concern. Regulating. Guys, world leaders, CEO, businessmen, people in decision makers and people who are really game changers, please, we need to sit down and regulate it. Why so? Because we are going in a very, very, very fast pace and this is dangerous. First number to give you. Generative AI software spend will raise from 8% today, 8% in AI software to increase 35% by 2027. This is a huge pace. If we did not regulate all the processes from rules to the way we develop softwares, to the way we release pieces of code, to the way we, even outside software, in social media or content, or we will head to somewhere that only God knows how it affects us. But a small example that everyone knows and can relate to is fake content or fake news. We will not be able to differentiate between what is real, what is not real, what is reliable and accurate, and what is not reliable and accurate. And I think everyone can see on social media how captions being written in a very computerized way, we will lose a lot of our human feeling. This is just a small example of disasters AI will hit us if we didn't regulate from now. Back to, again, software development. What is the situation now? I tell you from my experience and from preparing this episode, talking with many companies, whether customers, whether competitors in the market. SORINT Lab does have connections with a lot of software production houses and huge organization in the marketing in Italy and outside Italy. I tell you, every person, every professional involved in software development at this moment is working alone, using AI tool or generative AI in his own way, unblocked, Copilot, GitHub, all of the different stakeholders involved in the software development are using AI alone. Is this a problem? Yes, it's a problem, because this is not productivity. And this is the main reason for the episode of today, how to provide productivity. Let's define productivity. Productivity are set of processes or rules or work rate that should be better than the current situation you're in. This is how to be more productive. So if every stakeholder is working alone, every unit of this life cycle is working alone in a different world or in his own capsule, this does not guarantee productivity. And Luca, I would leave this part to you, because I think the consultation part of SORINT Lab is mainly how to involve the different professions involved in software development lifecycle to use AI in the correct manner, in something that really leads at the end to utilizing AI in a productive end result. Am I correct?
Yes, very quickly, because there are many, well, we are in the hype. So as you described, well described, everyone is using and trying to vision the world in the future, how it will evolve and so on. So we are in the hype of in the AI world. So will the AI change the way that we are developing or doing a lot of things? Yes. Is this, we are in the hype, in the very center, how this is the question that we need to say. So first of all, we need to explore, as you mentioned, talking with peers in the industry, talk with customers, with everyone else. So productivity, first of all, from, I don't know if I have to be, I'm in the middle, also business and tech, but what is the productivity? So this is the first question, correct? So, or what I want to improve from my perspective, the speed of the release. So to develop faster, this could be one measure. There are, and also, well, there is a hidden question here. Are you, first of all, are you measuring the productivity of your developers? This is the first question that we need to answer before all. Or how are you measuring the productivity? Because it's very complex nowadays. So to improve something that is complex to measure is very hard. But let's try to say something basic. So first of all, we need to increase the speed. So to give to the developers and everyone involved in the software life cycle tools that can be more faster. But I think that that can improve the piece of the software, because the related measure is not only to release faster, but also to improve the release period. So how often you are releasing in a day, in a year. So this is the second measure that I can say. So we need to help the developers to increase this kind of the number of releases, or to shorten
Effectively, Luca. Effectively.
Yes, we can add briefly also, we need to improve the productivity. From my point of view, is also improve the quality of the software.
Of course.
So here comes so you need some tools. We need a landscape of AI tools for developers, let me say, or everyone involved in the software life cycle. And in this landscape, I want to say, well, there are the code assistant, there are many other testing and so on. And also we need to say in every area how we can improve the quality of the code, the quality of testing, the quality of the release momentum, and so on. And this is very complicated, because if you in the hype, we see we are trying to also we see phenomenon of people trying to substitute the developers in some day-by-day tasks now. But it's also very complex, because if you can develop or use a code assistant or something, or AI, to develop a portion of software, but then you have to leverage on the developers to read the code, to try to fix sometimes, but also to manage, because you have also to manage the software. If you are going to manage a software made by an intelligence that is not mine, so different, not only artificial, but another people, it's very hard. So if you move the productivity from the developer side to the review side, and also to the application management side, could be very hard for developers. So you need also not only to improve the productivity of the developer, but to invest the time of the developer in some useful tasks.
You see, Luca, all the aspects, all the points you've discussed goes back to regulation. How can this team regulate its AI activity in a good way? Guys, and people who are watching us, Luca, I can stay here now and talk about how AI changed the coding experience, from coding, from joining and learning a new framework or a new syntax, or recalling a syntax that you forgot, or give me a code snippet of something, the testing activities, the pipeline, and how to make the standard of my code. I can stay and give you tools, as we said, Unblocked or Amazon Q or ChatGPT Canvas that was released 2 weeks ago, or I can do this. But this, you can see it on YouTube by anyone talking about it in more details. Here we are trying to regulate the software development life cycle from the first initial point of requirement gathering up until deployment. But to better speak about this, I think I would like to have Simone Rota, Head of Software Development Activities in SORINT Lab. I think you're better to speak about this than me. Hello. What do you think about what I've said, Simone? Ciao.
Hi, everybody. So thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to talk a bit about this topic. And it's a hot one. We already know everybody used some form of AI in the past. So what we are trying to do in the last year, so in 2024, we started not to regulate, because it's not our job, but to try to have some guidelines. So what we are trying to treat AI as a tool, as an IDE or a framework or a language. So we are trying to identify and catalog use cases in which for us it makes sense to use AI in a specific context. So we have 3 steps for this. So the first one this year is to provide a set of tools, the ones that at that moment seem to fit for a particular job. You know, there are many competitors. The second one I mentioned is to collect.
So the landscape is that, sorry, in the first one should be what I mentioned as a landscape of tools in various areas and so on. So this is very
yes, as Mohab said, in the past couple of years, everybody was trying in a kind of disorder.
Finding his way.
Yeah, finding.
Everyone was still finding his way. Yeah.
And this is why, apart from the second step is collecting, we did collect a few cases in which, for us, as I said, we make sense to use AI. Some in which it doesn't make sense to use AI because it's counterproductive. And the third phase, that's why it's changing. You see, it's changing very fast. So we are building a community to expand the use cases or suggest new tools. This is very important because there's a new tool every a couple of weeks, as Mohab mentioned. So, this is in general what we are doing right now, and we can use this approach for both for us as a development team and for customers, so we can help them find their way into their development team for AI. And also, Luca mentioned there are a few key areas from the development point of view. We picked up an agent, so think about ChatGPT, but one that's more contextual to the job we are doing. So it's context aware, it knows your repository of code. So this agent, we can do names, right?
Yeah.
Okay, Aider is the one we picked up. It knows your repositories, and you help a lot talking with this agent about how to fix stuff, etc. The second one is code review, the second big area. So we are trying to integrate as much as possible as any other tool. So as with the security and QA tools, we have Code Rabbit that suggests things to change for code reviews. This is very helpful in many cases. And the third area is basically regarding code assistant. Already mentioned Copilot is the one we picked up because it's one of the most advanced. But again, some people lately suggested to have a look at this other one, so we're not fixed and focused on a particular case, vendor or tool. Just as a couple of examples, 3 examples, let me say, since I told you we are kind of trying to put up a knowledge base and guidelines, I give you one yes case, a no case, and a maybe case.
Please, yes.
Where we're using. Okay, so let's start from the yes. General, as Luca said, we want to do things faster and better. So a first case is tedious new features. Let's suppose you have a customer entity and you want to add the shoe size to this customer. It's a very boring activity. I mean, you have to add a field in your model, update the test. So this is a good case for some kind of trivial new features that you don't have to think much about. And we are confident that the output, because we tested that the output is fine enough, good enough to help your work, make it a lot faster. A maybe case, it's one that Luca mentioned, is test generation. Here we are not 100% sure at this point, which is if this is a good approach, because writing tests is something that the developer needs to do, needs to know, and it's close to an art because it's not something as mechanical as we may think of. And no case, so a no case for us at this stage is okay, create an app that does this because it may be good for quick prototypes because you just need an app that, but we cannot have enough quality right now for creating an app because we're trying to standardize with the development guidelines, and it's something that it's better to have a look at our guidelines to create an app that does this kind of stuff instead of having some boilerplate code generated by AI. At this stage, maybe next year, I will bow to the AI generators.
Yeah, perfect. May I say something very? So your suggestion is to approach the AI implementation as building the landscape of the tools, building the scenarios, yes, no, and maybe. Explore the scenarios, create a community to exchange feeling and feedback about the scenario. That is a very good approach everywhere. So every developer and so on. So you can verify that not only the tests are the maybe, but also if you approach the testing trying to build the test from code could be a wrong way, but building the test from the requirement could be the right way to approach. So this is very important. Also, I want to say another very important things, because if you have to avoid for the developers, avoid the boreals, the something that the developers don't want to do, and instead not to replace the developer in something creative, because developers are also faster if they are motivated in doing something. So this is very in every field.
Yes, it's also for okay, sorry.
No, and also to explore the potential of the AI, everyone needs to be involved in the process, how to build an AI and LLM, starting from the formalization of the data and so on, because also the developers has the responsibility not only to produce quality and faster, but also to insert into the product AI or sort of AI for the users. So all the custom software needs to be ready for AI, for data analysis, for useful for the users of the application. So this is an hidden part again. Sorry.
I agree. No, agree. But I don't want us to leave the main focus of the episode. I'd like to remind our viewers and you guys, productivity. And I want a question for Simone, direct question, Simone. We are talking, I remind you, about software development lifecycle productivity. Simone, do you agree with me that nowadays in a lot of companies and from customers you see, a product owner will not use Unblock or Block or any AI generative tool to look at the repository and check, oh, this PR was pulled, merged, and the code standard doesn't apply to what we want or what our organization want. So we blah, blah. Or another example, sorry, maybe this is not a very accurate example. Security people involved in the project, they don't use an AI solution, whatever it is, that both the developer and the security person or profession, there is no disconnection between any given project, between any executable project. This connection doesn't exist now. Am I right?
Yes, because it's been a process to have this standardization for other areas, such as security, for example, that you mentioned. At some point, years ago, we decided, okay, we are going to use this environment made up by these tools. So the security and the development part and the product owner, as you say, all knows that when we are developing, we use these tools and this is our standards. For AI, it's a bit fresher. We are trying to keep up with, invent our guidelines, because the topic is quite
and
new.
We help our customers, our clients, to understand this standard. I remember one of the news I read on Floating Point. We introduced a script to a pipeline of a client to check the standard quality of certain things while pushing a piece of code. This is, we are using AI. So to reach, this is my answer, to reach maximum productivity, everyone needs to be involved in under certain standard, under certain regulation.
Yes.
We are very far from there at the moment, and we want to help our clients and ourselves, because Anki, also us, Anki, we are trying to discover our road. Everyone is still finding the road. What's your thought about this?
Yes, it's something that we realize that we need to do, because it cannot be a big question mark in our development process. So everybody needs to be well known and standardized, and it's something that we obviously missed up until a while ago. I told you we tried to formalize this year this approach, and it's something that I agree with, totally agree with. Otherwise, everybody is doing random AI stuff in the pipeline.
And connecting will 100% affect productivity.
Oh, sorry, can you repeat the question?
Sorry. Connecting those dots together will affect productivity, will lead to...
Everywhere. I mean, if I have another one, I'm just reading our use test just to make an example. If I'm developing an application, at some point, somebody needs to insert some test data, for example. This is a hidden task. So the product owner doesn't count maybe that you need time to add this significant data, because first name I cannot say A, B, C, D. I mean, it's random data. So with the AI, we can, and we use this once why we develop the application to answer good data to test that. And it's something that it takes 1/10 of the time, respect from, okay, manually, somebody needs to do this. It's better if AI does that. In case it's not very entertaining to create 1,000 random users in an application. And so this helped them.
Also, there is another example very quickly, the application modernization. So where you are approaching a legacy application and you want to modernize it to, I don't know if you want to rewrite it, but refactoring or something else, you can, and it is a legacy application. So often it is written in a language, in old language, or with old paradigm and so on. You can use some AI tools to analyze the code and try to figure out how was the requirement. So it is very tedious for the developers to understand an old language and see something that he is going to replace. So it's so this could be another, the starting point would be the AI, because it's faster than the starting point. It's not enough.
Regulated AI, please, Luca, for me. Regulated AI.
Very good.
Okay, I think I'm done. Time-wise, I need to close the episode. Just one question for Simone. AI is not going to replace software engineers. Am I correct?
Not today, not next year.
Not in this year. But it changed the workflow. It did. It will change.
It's another tool we have, we can rely on.
Powerful tool. Yeah. May I ask a question to everyone in our customer or who is listening? The question is, how are you measuring the productivity of your developer team? This could be how are you measuring, and also what's the approach, and also the tools that you are using to measure the productivity. Okay. This could be a good starting point.
We will leave this question open and we answer it with our consultation services. Last question I would like to answer, because we received, as I told you, I'm answering a lot of questions that we actually received. What are the industries that are being affected mostly with AI, according to Gartner, not according to me? Banking and investment, communication, media and services, education, government, healthcare, life and science, insurance, and manufacturing. I think it's obvious because they are giants. They are very modernized in comparison to other industries. So I think it makes more sense. It makes sense, this statistics. I don't know. Anyone wants to add anything? Simone, Luca?
No.
I think it's fair enough. I hope that answers this question. How can we improve our productivity as in software development lifecycle? Regulating AI. Using AI, of course, obvious, but regulating and putting correct standards in place and involving all professions in the correct way. AI is here and is staying and is gonna boom way more. I'm worried AI is gonna come out of somewhere here. Thank you all. Please check our AI-related services, or what we do in AI, not services, what activities do we do on AI on sorint.com/AI. You're going to find few of our activities in SORINT Lab, with the product, with the LLM work. I'd like to also close the episode giving credits to our AI circles, Giorgio and Adriano, for helping in scripting this episode. Thank you so much, Simone. I know you're a very busy person, and having you today, I think it's the first time for you on the Tech Talk. Thank you so much, and hope we can have you again, really.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, Simone.
Thank you, Simone.
Thank you, Mohab.
So that's all, Luca, for this episode. I hope it was beneficial. I hope we answered a lot of questions. And thank you. See you again.
Please give some feedback. I think we are open to all the feedbacks about the contents and of this episode.
Sure, we are ready to send any articles, any studies to you write us on marketing@sorint.com, and we will provide you with any statistics or numbers of studies that we have in hand. Grazie, that's all. Have a nice weekend.
Bye.